Not a problem. Today we're going to be talking about why we take everything so seriously in life.
Like this video.
Like this video. A serious video. Stay tuned.
You know, this is now episode 3. And I think so far we've only had the success that we obtained because we've taken it seriously, Joe.
So seriously. You can't mess around with these things in
can't.
anything in life. If you do anything without the approach of being extremely level-headed and extremely serious about it, your success is not happening. That's just the way it works, isn't it?
It's the needed ingredients in order to achieve success.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, you can attain some success when you're serious. You know, and that's why I think we got to kind of clarify what we're talking about when we say serious here.
Okay.
You know, so when you think of the idea of why so serious, why do we take things so seriously? What type of serious are you talking about? Because I don't think you're just talking about, the deadpan,
Yeah. I think about Joker from the Batman movie.
Why so serious?
Yes.
And, his whole face there, that's what I think about. But in all seriousness, realistically, I think when it comes to serious and how we want to define it today, it's really like one of those things where when we get like goals or aspirations about what we want to do, it's like there's different approaches, and sometimes we fall into this idea that it's like we almost need to like go at it with like this really serious, aggressive, like, all right, we got this, I got to do this, I got to schedule everything perfect and never ever have like any, fluid time in my life because it's all about my goal, and I can't joke around, I can't mess around, I can't like have fun with it. It's just, you got to be serious because that's how you get to your goals.
And it's almost like anytime you step off of that, you immediately judge yourself because like, oh, this is not productive time.
Yeah.
When I'm sticking to that and everything falls into place exactly the way I drew it up, that's when things are working towards the end goal. Anything that comes out outside of that, it's gonna throw me off.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna judge myself for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, how many times have we like either maybe done it ourselves at some point or even just like witnessed it happen where it's like, you meet with somebody and they might be talking about something and later on it's like, that guy's not serious about his business because he didn't or she didn't come off it in like a way that you were supposed to, like that, your version of, oh, you're supposed to be serious. It's like you don't take your life seriously.
Yeah, when are you gonna start taking? I heard that even from my mom growing up.
Yeah,
it's like, when are you gonna start taking your life seriously?
And what scenarios did she say that to you? Like what did you do that made her say that?
Mostly worked for Collective Evolution. That's it's not your stereotypical job. I don't go to work 9 to 5. It's none of that stuff. You don't have the structure that seems to be praised in this world that so many people strive for.
Have you seen the quarterly?
Yep, numbers are up in every sector.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good news.
Yeah. Did you get the inter-office memo regarding the Felici account?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Successful venture. I mean, I think our seriousness is really paying off.
Yes. I think if we really approach them, we can really get ourselves into the top position within this dog-eat-dog type of...
Yes. It's a big account.
So it gets questioned a lot, right? So a lot of times you'd be dealing, when are you going to start taking your life seriously? And I would get little jobs on the side, especially back in the day, and it's like, oh, that's good. You got something serious to do now.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the difference? What's...
And that's the thing, is we judge it. We judge what serious is and what it means and what it looks like. But you've probably found yourself in a scenario, maybe you haven't, but where you've kind of tried to do something seriously and you put all these things in place to make it happen real serious. Yeah. And I'm not trying to downplay like goals and organization. I personally think those
are great.
Very important.
Yeah.
But it's when we add that added, like, it's got to be real serious. And then what happens? It becomes unsustainable.
Yeah.
It becomes something where it's like we fall off and we're like, oh, I fell off because, of this, and this. But it's like at the end of the day, you were trying to do something that was probably against like your nature of just being flowy and having fun with it and enjoying it.
It goes back to something we mentioned in one of the other episodes about the whole process of things. You're going to have days where things are not going to go based on the way you drew them up. And it doesn't change the fact you're still working towards what you're going towards. You got to just flow with the process. Yeah. Don't make it throw you off so much. Like we have kind of this this flair for the dramatic. You know, when something goes wrong, when something just little, let's say even, right? It can happen for the big things, but also for the little tiny things, you know? We just blow it up. Yeah. We love to make something huge out of it. So much to the extent that, you know, one day you're at work, something small goes off, next second, your whole day's ruined because you're feeling that thing about how it is. Yeah. You're projecting that to your employees, complaining to your coworkers, complaining to them, you know, this is happening, this is stuff like that. Suddenly your whole perspective of your job from that point forward is, it's a shit job. It doesn't take care of me for this. It's like, for what? Yeah. You know, it's like we love to project it. We have this flair for the dramatic, you know?
Yeah, and we take little moments sometimes so seriously that we can take something that's tiny, really probably wouldn't have a huge impact on our lives, and instead of just going, yeah, you know, I felt that for a second and, you know, wasn't the greatest, but you know what, I'm going to move on here, or I'm going to maybe talk to somebody about it and address the situation. Instead, we turn into this ginormous thing, and it becomes something that we forget by the end of it, like, why we were even really like engaged in the first place with it. Like what, you know, and at the end of the day, it seems like in those moments, we dial into the experience so hardcore that we forget to see like the big picture of what just happened. Like your life becomes about the fact that like somebody came to your desk and accidentally spilled coffee on everything and you took it personally. And now your life's ruined. Yeah. And why do we do that? Why do we take it so serious?
I think it's we let the emotions just override and dictate the entire experience. You know, because like obviously people are going to say, you know, there's certain things, like it's easy when it's a small thing and we blow it up that we shouldn't be doing that. It's easy to look at that. But there are, let's say, things that people would more easily classify as legitimate or worthy of developing those emotions. And there's nothing wrong with them. You know, you go through them, you go through the experience. But I think no matter what happens, whether it's something small, you get a paper cut at your desk. You get a paper clip too. Those are great. You know, keep things together. But you get a paper cut at your desk, or something massive happens. You know, you get in a car accident, right? Something major like that. That's a little bit more traumatic. No matter what, the emotions and the whole flaring it up will never help in the case of moving beyond it. I mean, you can get through them, you can go through those emotions, but they're never going to serve to actually moving beyond it, because it's not until you calm down. It just gives you more work to do, because now you need to relax this, relax that, before you can actually see it for what it is and start to make, you know, more logical and sensible choices to actually move beyond the experience, no matter what it is, right?
So what would you say, if you had to sum it up in an idea, what would you say like the solution here is for when we find ourselves in situations where we're taking it too seriously?
I think obviously in the moment it can be tough, but I think you got to take that bird's eye view.
There's that bird's eye view, you know? Up top, looks all serious, but down here, I mean, look, got Mountain Dew pants on.
And hairy legs.
That's it. Sometimes when you step back, everything's different.
It is.
I take that step back.
Yeah, exactly. That step back. Because I think we can like both attest to it. There's so many things that have happened in our lives at various points that in the moment of seem like they're the end of the world. Seem like they're going to completely overhaul our life. We're never going to get over it, or it's going to, you know, be several months before we do. And then you look down the road at the situation. Not only do you see why it occurred, but also what you gained from it. And you're able to see, like, you know what, this helped me to become more capable within this, become stronger in regards to that. It's like, so really, within these things, it's just a matter of stepping back for a second, taking that bird's approach to things, because things aren't always what they seem. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, and birds.
Birds.
They're good things.
They are great things.
You know, they see things differently.
Yeah.
But, so, you know, take that step back. You know, don't be afraid to write it down. Don't be afraid to talk to people about it and get to a space where you're kind of looking at things in a different perspective. I think that's an awesome solution for when we find ourselves in scenarios where we're taking it too seriously. There's one final point we wanted to make here about specifically, I guess, the movement, if you will, that sort of we're... You know, are
heavily engaged in.
Yeah, you know, the conscious, the spiritual, the aware, the, I guess, self-improvement or self-development, we'll call it, type movement. Why? What is with that whole thing and how serious it becomes? Like, you know, this stuff is supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and you're becoming aware and you're having a journey, but sometimes we take this whole thing really, really seriously.
Yeah, it's almost as if we don't allow ourselves to have fun within it. As if having fun is off path. Yeah. You know, we should all just be sitting in the lotus pose all day long. That's the only time you're doing valuable work. You're doing, you know, your soul growth. You're doing all this, whatever words you want to tie down to it. You know, it's like, but really, the more you look at that, you're just really putting yourself in a whole new box when you're looking at it that way. Because you're saying that, you know what, consciousness, moving forward, also like that, is something that needs to be taken seriously in order to be effective.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, I could talk from my own experience. I'm sure you can talk from yours. There's many things that I learned when I'm from a very non-serious state, you know, just having a lot of fun, seeing things for what they are, you know. you don't need to be serious to grow, to enjoy the experience, to do all that stuff.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think we're here to have experiences, engage with people, play with the multitude of emotions that come with and the feelings that come with experiencing life. And a lot of times that means, having to engage in sometimes things that are a little bit more serious, but also have fun. Like, do the things that are silly and that are whatever. And like, you don't have to be all serious to be spiritual. I think that's the end goal here. You don't have to take it as if it's like, all right, I got to be spiritual, so I cannot go and throw a tennis ball against the wall for like 5 minutes. I can't do that because what am I getting out of that? Yeah. What am I getting out of the tennis ball?
And I think a lot of times if you are going to bring seriousness to any setting, but we'll stick with the conscious setting, you're kind of going to be a buzzkill to a certain degree, because it's like you're not allowing the fun to flow amongst other people who might be feeling that,
Yeah.
But,
That's all. It was a very serious episode.
Yeah, let's get serious for a second.
Yeah, okay, so the thing is, now we're gonna have this episode come out, or all episodes from here forward, every Tuesday. Okay. From here on out, there will be no joking. From here on out, this is it now. We're getting serious. These guys are going to be a whole new level of serious now.
Yeah, and let us know your serious thoughts.
Yeah.
Communicate through the section below, and give us some feedback, as well as your thoughts on taking things seriously in life, and make sure to keep them non-lighthearted.
Yeah, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Pint.
Pinto beans.
Clips. La la. Feel like my head looks like a ball right now. I got a ball head right now. I got a ball. Basketball.
Ball heads.
Play some sports with my head later.
Yeah. Play some sports.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Not a problem.